Yeah, and how did you guys keep this a secret so well? I know there's all that pressure on you, but I mean, it really was a well-kept secret, and that's a hard thing to do in the age of social media and the internet and speculation. And did they threaten you with anything here or what?
You had
How
the
did you
worst
do
of
it?
it though, Andrew. Because you were doing press for months. Yeah, like
Out there, man. I'm like out there, and everyone's like, "Why is Andrew Garfield on a press tour just denying Spider-Man? Like these other two films." I'm like, dudes, like look at this stuff. So yeah, no, I definitely think I had the hardest time.
you had the worst part of it. Yeah.
Thrust into the world just like coincided with having to lie for the sake of that audience reaction. I think so, and I know. I equate it to like, when you're organizing a surprise birthday party for someone that you love and they keep saying, mate, just tell me I hate surprises. I hate surprises, but deep down, they will love the surprise. I justified my ethical kind of like unethical lying behavior. I call it fibbing more than lying.
Right.
It was I kind of enjoyed it. It was quite fun, and it felt like a game of that game Werewolf or Mafia, where you're the werewolf and you have to convince everyone that you're not. So I kind of like turned it into a little bit of a game for myself. I don't know, and it did result in this kind of like, even though there were all these leaks and all this stuff happening, I think like there was enough doubt in everyone's mind, going, oh God, what if it isn't? What if it isn't? What if they don't show up? And then, so when we did, it kind of gave them that little bit of icing on top of an already incredibly deep. Like, I watched the movie with Toby for the first time and I was in pieces. Like, this is a deep movie. This isn't just fan service, which, it partially is, but like, this is a movie that is about a coming of age, like an acceptance of loss, acceptance of death, taking responsibility for your gifts, and like, I was torn open by the journey that Tom went on, and that he was it was just like having to split with his girlfriend and his best friend and sacrifice that in order. It's classic Peter Parker, but it felt totally fresh and totally reimagined. Like, his origin, like Tom's origin story, was happening in his third movie rather than his first. Like, there's something so profound. So the film, I feel, stands alone without me and Toby showing up. I hope we enhance it, but like, I think John and Tom have made just something actually that is exceptionally moving, especially for young people. I think it's a beautiful film.
Yeah, yeah, Tom, it is highly emotional. You have those close-ups of you, with Aunt May, and then beyond, and the whole coda. If you haven't seen the movie, hold your ears, because that ending is really touching. And it's unlike what we've seen before in the Spider-Man universe. So to play that must have been emotional too, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, it was emotional. There definitely was a sense for me as an actor that this was the last time that I could potentially don the suit. So a lot of that emotion came from the act of saying goodbye, which is one of the biggest themes throughout this film. So, thankfully, I was really able to draw on my own experience and my own feelings in those moments. But this film also felt like a huge celebration. This movie really is a celebration of 3 generations of cinema. So at times we would be getting into these scenes that were incredibly emotional, that, they're very taxing. And I was so happy to be there that I had to go at it a different way and kind of go, wow, look at my life. Look what's happened to me. I'm working with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and we're telling this story. And I would get emotional at kind of how proud I was of the situation that we were in, and that what we were doing, and that I really believed in what we were doing. So yeah, it was tough, but anything hard is worthwhile. And I was happy to kind of really push myself and to make this film more emotional than superhero films have been in the past. But yeah, so a lot of it was I was drawing on my own kind of feelings as we went along.
Yeah, Toby, this feels like a culmination. In fact, I did a little interview with Amy Pascal, and she described it that way. She said this movie is a culmination of 20 years, what began with you and your 3, and now going full circle here. Is that the way you look at it too, when you looked at this, that this is like the end of one thing, maybe the beginning of another somehow, but the end here of what you started?
Well, I'll say I remember being on set, and it was, I believe, our last day, Andrew, and it was really amazing. And I had the awareness of this, you know, the 20 years of history, but looking at Amy and Kevin and realizing that they've been there through all the different iterations. And it was really powerful, just personally, it was really powerful. It was powerful for me to be working with Andrew and Tom, and powerful in a legitimately moving, emotional way. And then to witness Amy and Kevin and consider their journeys through all the films, it was really impactful. And yeah, I was just grateful every day. It was such a rich experience. And as the guys have touched on, the kind of sharing of something and the brotherhood of it, it was just so rich, emotional. And I don't know, I'm not like sitting there conceptually thinking about that all the time, but I would have moments where that kind of stuff would hit me. You know, day to day, it was just a beautiful kind of unfolding of this story and these relationships. So I was more just like in that on the day to day, but I'd have these like reflection moments, which were quite powerful and elegantly woven ultimately, because it's actually, you're thinking about taking 20 years of history and revisiting that, and how do you balance all of these things. And each of our kind of series of films have, you know, the characters we're playing the same character, but they're also unique, and the way those films and characters evolved in those films are unique. And then to bring all of that together, including you know, all of our super villains and all of that, it was pretty wild to witness the immensity of all of this history coming together and being put into what Andrew is saying is this, you know, standalone worthwhile story. And I too just wanted to say with the coda of the movie, I was really touched emotionally, but also I just thought it had such a sweet elegance to it. Like, that was so amazing. And I agree in terms of the origin story and the kind of coming of age, or you know, Tom, your character stepping into this different kind of maturity and responsibility, and all done with this like really sweet, sad, elegant touch. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, it's